2018 was a really huge year for me, and what better way to reflect than to ramble into a camera and then upload it onto the internet. So just to start us off, to go over some statistics from 2018, I released 17 videos in total, 13 of which were Dotaology. I gained 2.8 million views, 27.5 thousand subscribers, 54,000 likes, and 1,300 dislikes. The top 5 countries in terms of views were Philippines, the US, Indonesia, Malaysia, and then India. And thanks. That's awesome. So what did I learn throughout the year? So prior to this in 2017, most of it was video game reviews, and in 2018 I really focused more on the Dota kind of content. So I think if you compare my first video from the year to my last one, my drawing has definitely gotten better. I spend a little bit too much time on those the paper portion in the beginning where I'm explaining all the skills, but I like doing it, and it's more for me than anything. And if you just look at the difference in skill, you know, from the beginning of the year for Pudge to Lich or Brewmaster, I think I definitely learned how to draw a little bit better, and I got a little bit more stylized. So I'm really appreciative of that, and it's really cool to see like the progress that I made throughout the year. So there's that. I definitely learned how to streamline the process of video making. I have like a template now that I follow that kind of helps me guide everything along, and it's not much of a question of what should I say, it's more of how should I go about finding all this information as fast as I can, just so I can focus on the big meat of it, which is the editing part. If I had to choose which one of the episodes was my favorite, it's probably going to be Lich. I just like the hero overall. I think the transition from Dota 1 to Dota 2 and all the stuff in between was really interesting to look at. And I had that huge emotional blunder of 7.20 coming out and then Lich's skills being changed around. So that was at least memorable for me, and yeah, it was probably the most impactful, and it was my favorite to work on. So in a timeline throughout the year, in May I was first monetized. So for the first 4 months, those videos weren't making any money, and it wasn't until that the renamed items episode came along where the ad revenue started coming in. And just in general, I think it's very important for people who are in the creative field to get paid for what they do. I'm not going to say that I'm the best artist in the world, but it was definitely validation for the effort that I was putting into everything. And yeah, it just sucked because there was so much drama around monetization at the beginning of the year, especially with what happened with Logan Paul. His actions actually slowed down the monetization process for everyone. So I remember from January until May, I think every day I was checking like the YouTube subreddit to see who got monetized, to see if it was actually even happening, and it felt like every day it was getting pushed back. So initially they were saying that the end of February would be the first time that people would get their monetization, and then it started being March, and then April, and then at that point I started giving up. I was like, you know what, I'll make these videos, it'll happen eventually, and it did. And so when May rolled around, I started getting the ad revenue, and it was just a really exciting time for my career on this channel. All right, so in July, I actually started looking for a new job. I'm working full time now, and how that works is I go to work 8-9 hours a day, come home, start working on whatever I can, and that was the easy part. In July, when I started looking for a new job, I was spending more of my time going to interviews. There was a lot of stress with resume building. There's all this other stuff, and it actually took away from my ability to create on a consistent basis, which really sucked. But fortunately, I landed a new job in September, which at this point, I am now it's normalizing my schedule. So yeah, it's a little bit shaky to start a new job, and I recently just got into the flow of things, so I expect things to get better. But yeah, the last 4 months have been they've been hectic. Also in September, I started my Patreon, and that was good. It was really good. There was more support I got than I thought I was gonna get, when I started the Patreon account. And yeah, just it definitely adds a new realm of interaction with my fans and all of you. And everyone who's on there, I'm trying my best to talk to you guys. I want you guys to get your money's worth. I don't think, if you're gonna pay a subscription basically just to keep me happy, the least I could do is take some time out of my day to connect with you guys, drawing you guys avatars, all that other stuff. It's, you know, I apologize for not getting to a lot of the stuff right away, but, you know, looking forward, I think I'm starting to get more into the groove of things, and I didn't realize how crazy it was to have this extra layer of everything on top of like my general duties on YouTube. But enough about me. You guys asked some questions and I have some answers. And the best way I think is to do this by patrons and then general Dota questions and then just general questions about me. So let's get into it. First off, we have Jorge Diaz. Which one is your favorite character from Dota and how you feel about playing with them in Dota 2? So my favorite character in Dota 1 was Skeleton King, and partially because he only had one skill, so as I was learning, it was a lot easier for me to play him. And yeah, it was like it was just fun building stupid items like Battle Fury and then Sanjin Yasha. But those are more like my memories associated with the hero. But in his transition into Dota 2, I thought before 7.00 and before Wraith King became a thing, I liked him a lot. Yeah, Skeleton King Asterion is, he's really good in Dota 2, so yeah. Second, we have Mini Mushroom. What did you do before YouTube/Dota, and when did you first play Dota? So, I first played Dota in 2007, and in the episode of Tall Tales that I animated, kind of covers like how that experience was. Before I did YouTube, I actually studied to become a teacher, and before I played Dota, for the most of my adolescence, I probably played like free MMOs like MapleStory, Ragnarok, Neopets, Gaia Online, that kind of thing. But yeah, most of my video games are JRPGs. Call me Fluffy. What's your opinion about fluffy dogs? I like them. I'm Drip. How long does it normally take to make a video, from the initial idea to the moment you press upload? Great question. So it starts off with me choosing which hero to do, writing the script, recording the audio, recording the footage, and then the bulk is the editing process. So from top to bottom, choosing the hero is pretty simple, like it doesn't take too much thought, but the script is around 8 to 10 pages double spaced, so that's looking to be 8 hours or so, if I'm like efficient at it. Recording the audio takes about 6 hours, but that's only because I stumble on so many lines all the time and I have to take long breaks, but generally I can get that done in a day. Recording video is pretty easy. I just play the heroes. For the most part, I play in ranked, but if it's someone I don't know how to play, like if Earth Spirit comes up, I definitely will have to play on Turbo. But yeah, I play around 4 to 5 games to get footage, plus I look at all the other like Warcraft 3 and things like that, so probably another 6 to 7 hours. And then the bulk editing, that takes around, I want to say anywhere between 20 to 40 hours in total. And all this would be easy like if I didn't have a job, but I honestly only have like 3 hours to myself every day, so that's why the episodes take so long to come out. Sea Fox, if you could hang with any hero from Dota 2, who would it be? Wind Ranger. God, are you Ice Frog? I wish. I'd be rich. Then I have to do this for side income, and then I have to sell my body to the streets. I don't sell my body to the streets. Don't call me on that. James Underwood, just how tall are you, Dennis? All right, I get this question every time I upload a video. In the comment section, everyone is always asking this. If you need to refer them to something, if you ever see that comment, feel free to give them this answer. I am 6'3" or 190 centimeters. Either way it works. I know that's tall, like just in general. In Japan, actually, the height of the door would actually hit my forehead, and that was pretty annoying. A couple of times when I stepped out of the tub in my Airbnb, I would hit like the ceiling, basically. Definitely not a tall person country, but over here in America, it's fine. All right, moving on to general Dota questions. Betterson McGee, what carry do you have the lowest GPM with? Son of a bitch. If you consider Storm Spirit a carry, I have 307 GPM with him. I'm not proud of it. Little Pink Bowser, which micro plushie of a Dota character is your favorite and why? Actually, my favorite here is Venomancer because there's something about like the flap on the side where it's like it's not filled out. It's just like this, stretch of fabric. I don't know why I like it so much, but Yeah, this is probably going to be my favorite for the time being. Who knows? If they come out with more, that answer might change, but not too hopeful. Kukurt1, do you like the changes of the heroes and items in 7.20? Which do you prefer, Dota 1 or Dota 2? So I think the changes in 7.20 are actually pretty good. For the most part, they keep the hero's main gameplay intact while also changing it up just enough so that it feels kind of new, and I really like those kinds of changes. I think the Sand King one in particular sticks out to me. Moving around in Sandstorm is a pretty big deal. It's you don't think about it much, but it's really different in a good way. And do I prefer Dota 1 or 2? It's probably Dota 2. It's advancing itself in a way that it feels a lot different than just like a mod of a Warcraft 3 map. Jinx22, your favorite hero and why? My favorite hero... It's a hard question because I like Rubik. I think Rubik's my favorite like designed hero. In theory, he's my favorite. But if you look at my top 5 heroes that I played on my profile, looks like Venomancer, Darkseer, Spirit Breaker, Crystal Maiden, and Chen are up there. My favorite thing in a game is to disrupt the lane. So I think all these heroes like kind of accomplish that. With Venomancer, you just like kind of spit at him and walk away. Darkseer, you put on an Ion Shell on like a creep, and then it like just ruins like a melee hero like that you're laning against. Spirit Breaker is just, you know, you're ramming in everything. Chen, no one expects him to be good because no one knows how to micro. And Crystal Maiden just in general, you know, just like basic harass. She's probably the most like basic hero I play. Ashley Wantan, which support heroes are best played as carry and which carry heroes are best played as support? I think Venomancer is typically a support and I love him transitioning into carry. It's an obscene amount of damage. And carry hero as support, Sven. I actually played Sven primarily as a support. I think his stun is too good to like pass up. A freaking axe. If given the chance, what or who is the hero that was removed or never got released in Dota 1 you want to resurrect? Astro Trekker. I think in total he has like 15 seconds of disable, and I think that would just be really funny to have in like Dota 2. And finally we have everything else. So starting us off, Ali Rahimi. What gave you the idea of starting the videos and when did you start playing Warcraft and Dota? Okay, so the idea came from playing with my friend Raymond, and again, he'll come up every now and again. He's the only person I talk to about Dota. But when he started playing recently, I always told him things about the game. Like, anytime he had a question, I'd be like, oh yes, Jakiro does this and that. And it got to the point where every time he brought something up, I would be like, this would be a good video idea. And I think that's what started the history of Wraith Knight, leading into Invoker. Like, if he thinks someone like Huskar is difficult, wait till you hear about all these other guys. So that's how it started. Albert Flores, will you do videos on different MOBA games? I have really given this some serious thought. I've had a couple of League of Legends ideas, like just working in the back of my head. I've wanted to do Ryze and Teemo, and the only thing stopping me is the fact that I can't get that older footage. So Ryze has had like, I don't know, 4 or 5 reworks at this point. All of the old footage of his gameplay it's either super low quality or you know, it's just like someone else has that video and I can't like just copyright. It's probably gonna be a copyright strike if I do it. But yeah, I think in general it's just that other games just don't have the history that Dota has, so it would be a little bit more difficult, but it has been in the back of my mind. Ashing in the point of view, come on, bring in Gambler Man. Would you do a video on the Gambler? This hero is interesting because he's always the one that comes up. Every time there's a discussion about how broken old heroes was, Gambler is the name that usually pops up. I haven't done it yet because Prue's Reviews have already done a pretty good video on it, and I feel like I wouldn't be able to add anything to that discussion. And it's already there, and it's, you know, it's been around for years. So again, like I don't think that I can do an interesting take on it. I have wanted to do like an old heroes kind of video, but yeah, we'll kind of see how that one goes. Wonderful Indo, am I handsome? Yes. Kimi-san, hit or miss? I guess you never miss, huh? So do you like PA? Cause I miss your video, bro. You're a piece of shit. Start with a bang. Are all the heroes you made on Dotaology about, are they your favorite heroes or do they have interesting backstories? So generally the way that I choose what heroes I do, first there's a rotation. I like to do strength, intelligence, and then agility, just so everyone has their favorites covered. How do I choose them though? I think it's more about popularity and what I can say about them. So if you look at my first like 4 or 5, Wraith King, Invoker, Juggernaut, Pudge, Rubik, they all have a lot of stuff to say. They're all very recognizable. In general, everyone loves them. So those are generally like the ones that I go to first. Even if I like heroes like Visage and Chen, no one's gonna care, unfortunately. But we'll see. We'll see. Mark Castillo, what was your most memorable experience while you were just starting out on making YouTube content? Alright, so I don't remember what video it was, but I know I spent a lot of time on it. It might have been History of Sniper, now that I think about it. But what happened was I was editing the video, and I restarted it just to make sure everything was okay. And all my footage was gone. And I was panicking. I said, this is the end, I'm done. I'm never doing this again. I just spent 30 hours of my life for nothing. And luckily my friend Scooch helped me out, and if you want to, show your support on him as well, you can look up Scooch. He does League of Legends stuff, and he really was the person that got me into everything, so I owe a lot of thanks to him. Super Yay! Would you like to make an addendum video at some point, like go over points from Dotology that you missed or have since changed? This is in the works, actually. I know, like, with a lot of the older videos like Pudge and Rubik, the Arcanus have come out and they do add quite a bit to the story. So yeah, I've thought about it. It's just I would have to wait until there's like enough things to talk about. I don't want it to be like a 2-minute thing that says, hey, did you know that this Arcana was voiced by the original? Like that doesn't matter to me. And yeah, I was thinking about calling it like extra credit or tutorial or some other school related thing. Chobass, what will you do when you run out of heroes to do videos on? All right. So I've did some math here. There are, let's say I have 100 videos left or so. And let's say that the earliest I can possibly get them out is once every 2 weeks. So I have roughly 2 years before all the heroes are run out. If I haven't figured out something by then, I'll just quit. I just honestly think if at that point I'm putting all my eggs into this basket, it's not a sustainable business plan, so I honestly wouldn't want to do this, to sustain myself for the rest of time. So there's, streaming, there I can talk about other things. I would love to get back into game reviews, actually. I think that's what I really wanted to start off with, but this was a fun little detour. We'll have to see, but if I haven't figured out something, then I don't deserve money. Alright, and that was everything. I had a lot of fun doing this. I didn't think I would. It's been kind of a hassle to set everything up, but if you guys want to see more of this, feel free to let me know. If you hated it, let me know too, just so I, don't boggle down your feed with this kind of stuff. So, with that, I'm hoping 2019 is good. I hope to interact with all of you all the time. And once again, if someone asks how tall I am, tell them. 6'3", 190 centimeters. I'm Dennis Atal. That was my review of 2018 and a Q&A. How do I segue out of this? Follow me on Twitter. Support me on Patreon if you have the funds. If I missed your question or if something else came up, comment. I love talking to everyone. And yeah, what else do you guys want to see? Let me know. I'm just gonna. It's been kind of rambly. Just gonna. All this stuff popping up around me that I'm sure I'll edit in perfectly.